Good computer hygiene says to back up your hard drive in case of a disaster. And that's great, but how to do this on a Raspberry Pi? The Raspberry Pi boots from an SD card and stores all data to that SD card, so that's what you should back up, but the Raspberry Pi only has one SD card slot. So how can you back that card up? Hi, I'm Mark Neiman Ross, and welcome to this week's edition of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Every week, we explore the Raspberry Pi and share useful tips. This week, I'm going to show you how to back up your SD card. You'll need a piece of software that's already part of Raspbian, and you'll need an extremely odd piece of hardware, an SD to USB adapter. I purchased one for less than $10. It's special because it handles both regular USB for most Raspberry Pis and OTG USB as used by the Raspberry Pi Zero. It also handles regular and micro SD cards, so I'm covered for all combinations. Finally, you'll need an SD card identical to the card you want to back up. Most commonly, that will be a micro SD card, but if you're using an older Raspberry Pi, then you may be using a regular SD card. To make a backup, insert a blank SD card in the USB adapter, and then insert that adapter into the Raspberry Pi. On the Raspberry Pi, go to Accessories, SD Card Copier. Select the Copy To device first. This will not allow you to copy to the active SD card. Then select the Copy From device. Use the option you didn't select for Copy To. Select Start, and note that this will erase everything on the destination card. Don't use a card that has data for something else. It will be gone. The card copier will display several dialogues and will take about 30 minutes to complete a copy. It may appear to be stalled, so be patient. When it's done, you can quit the card copier and remove the USB to SD card adapter. Now you can shut down your Raspberry Pi and swap out the SD card. Reboot, and the new card should work just fine. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Be sure to join the LinkedIn group and check out previous episodes on LinkedIn Learning. I'll see you next week with more Raspberry Pi adventures.